How to master productivity, the 80-20 rule, Parkinson's law, and batching framework. Hey everyone, I'm Felipe, and welcome back to Self-Ingrained, the channel dedicated to helping you build a more intentional and productive life. Have you ever had one of those days? You work for 8, maybe 10 hours straight, you answer emails, you attend meetings, you cross things off a long to-do list. But at the end of the day, when you finally lean back in your chair, you have this sinking feeling that you haven't actually moved the needle on any of your important goals. You were busy, but were you productive? There's a huge difference. And today, we're going to build the framework that helps you bridge that gap for good. We're going to combine 3 powerful, time-tested principles into one supercharged system. By the end of this video, you'll know how to use the 80-20 rule to identify your most critical tasks, Parkinson's law to create intense focus, and task batching to execute your work with maximum efficiency. Let's get started. The 80-20 rule. First, let's talk about clarity. You can't be productive if you're working on the wrong things. This is where the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle, comes in. The principle is simple. For many outcomes, roughly 80% of the results come from 20% of the effort. Think about it. In a business, 80% of the revenue often comes from 20% of the clients. The same is true for your work. A small fraction of your tasks are generating the vast majority of your meaningful results. The rest is just noise. Your first job is to become a detective and find your critical 20%. Ask yourself 2 questions. First, which 20% of my tasks are creating 80% of my progress or results? And second, which 20% of my activities are causing 80% of my problems and stress? Be honest. The goal of the 80-20 rule is simple. Do more of what works and ruthlessly eliminate or delegate what doesn't. Once you know what your high-impact 20% is, you know exactly where to direct your energy. Before we move on, pause for a second and think. What is one task that you know is in your 20%? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to see what high-impact work you're all focused on. Parkinson's law. This leads us to our second principle, Parkinson's law. The law states that work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. Remember in school when you had 2 weeks to write an essay? You probably thought about it for 13 days and then wrote the entire thing in a frantic, yet surprisingly focused panic on the last night. That's Parkinson's law in action. So, how do we use this to our advantage? We stop accepting the deadlines we're given and start setting our own, more aggressive ones. Instead of saying, I'll get this report done by Friday, say, I will finish this report by 11 a.m. today. Here's a challenge for you. Pick one task you need to do this week and cut the deadline in half. Share what that task is in the comments. Let's hold each other accountable. Task batching. Okay, you've identified your critical tasks. You've created urgency. Now it's time to execute. This is where we use task batching. Every time you switch between different types of tasks, your brain has to reconfigure. This is called context switching, and it kills your productivity. Batching is the solution. It's the simple act of grouping all of your similar tasks together and doing them in one dedicated, uninterrupted block. For example, don't check your email every 15 minutes. Dedicate 2 30-minute blocks per day. If you're creating content, have a writing block, a filming block, and an editing block. When you think about your own work, what's one task batch you could create that would save you the most time? For me, it's my admin batch. What would yours be? Drop it in the comments. The framework. Now let's put it all together. This is where the magic happens. Here is your new 3-step workflow. Step 1, identify with the 80-20 rule ... Step 2, schedule with batching. Step 3, execute with Parkinson's law. So, your day is no longer a random list of tasks. It's a series of focused, timed sprints. You're not just busy, you're strategically productive. So let's recap. First, use the 80-20 rule to find the vital few tasks. Second, use Parkinson's law to create tight deadlines. And third, use batching to execute with deep focus. This isn't just a collection of tips, it's a new way to think about your time and energy. As we've discussed, these concepts are explored wonderfully in an article on self-ingrained.com, which is linked in the description if you want to dive even deeper. Your action step for today is simple. Look at your to-do list for tomorrow and apply this framework. I want to know, which of these 3 principles are you most excited to apply this week? Share your plan in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more strategies to help you work smarter, not harder. Now, go supercharge your life. See you in the next video.